for the slider race here. 25%. You're seeing it on your screen right now. This is going to be how the setup is here. Normal draft. We're going to
No,
have
it's
black flags.
4%.
No, I'm changing it. That's what I'm saying. They're going to see it here on their screens.
Do better.
Yeah, one job. I wanted the people at home to be able to see the setup here. So we're going to save that, put it in. 50 laps. Yeah, you're seeing it here on your screen. You're not seeing things. That is actually 33 drivers getting ready to go green. I'm going to back out of this, which is going to make it just 32 drivers, but that's a lot of cars. And again, look over to the left, and you won't see a yellow flag because there's no cautions in the C group. So I am your CEO, Aqua Tatty. In the booth with me tonight, we have Justin Shackett again.
Hi.
And in race reporter, yet again, Mo Power NRG.
Hello?
Yeah, so qualifying was exactly as expected. I saw a lot of cars go crazy all at one time. So yeah, it's this is gonna be a fun race out the gate.
Is it though?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm not racing. What do you think there, Energy? How do you possibly come up with a strategy for something like this?
You don't. Don't get wrecked or avoid getting wrecked. I don't have. There's a lot of good names in here for sure. I could see some really good racing up front. Maybe Stark Nathan's the worst thing that's ever happened. I feel like the top 10 will definitely have some good racing. And like we've seen there a little bit ago in custom race, you get people up front racing side by side, we're definitely going to see some packed racing. It's just probably not going to last very long.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you. A lot of these names, right? We're going to look through and we're going to recognize a lot of these names. Some are new, but like there's others. Like this guy in second, he's going to start 20th. Arnoggle 9 in the 32. He owns what's called the NASCAR Racing League. He's one of the admins over there, and I mean the guy's real fast and real clean. I've run with him over there. Not an ideal starting position, of course, for him. But Pork Chop, he joined us late last season. He's great. Cards fan and Bad For You Racing get to make their return to GC Sports. Those two are always going to be fat. Nick, 2019 champ, about mediocre speed, but he's a real clean guy. Fat Taco's back. Blakey T, 10 Titan for life. He's a fast guy. Had a little bit of lag issue. Energy. Yeah, I'm just working with it from the top, right? Yeah, this chit ass wasted guy, right? Too. He runs. Actually, he drives for my team in another league, and he's one of the top competitors over there, week in and week out, and he races against all the GTR guys over there. So, I mean, just look at these names. Yeah, like you were saying, Robbie Racing starting back here, A Trout, S for Salt Life. Like these guys. This is a pretty stout field.
It is a stout field. This ought to be pretty fun. I hope that these guys that we're not super familiar with, I hope that they just acclimate to the point where we have good racing. But it'll be tough to tell. I think 50 laps. I didn't think it was going to feel long, but it actually felt a little bit longer than 50 laps. But
50 laps, 2 stops. We're going to see 2 pit stops here again, same as we did in the custom race. I'm going to back out of that lobby. Time should now have expired. So, Justin, you can go ahead and blue screen and accept your invite as I am doing the same right now. So, 32 drivers is, I believe that's what the list was when I backed out. So, 32 guys getting ready to go green here at Michigan. This should have a mix of everything. You'll see pack racing, you'll see the field get spread out, you're going to see big wrecks, you're going to see pit strategy. Literally anything you could want to see except for a yellow flag, you're probably going to see in this race at some point in time. Sandy Outlaw out there, thanks for tuning in. He's cheering on Robbie Racing.
Glad to see Robbie getting back on his feet after we know he's dealt with a few pretty shitty couple months.
I see what you did there.
I'm just saying. I'm just glad to see that he's doing better and spend time with his kids and whatnot. So good for him. I hadn't talked to him in a long time, but actually no, I did. I actually seen him on video chat when I was sitting in the back seat of Putin's truck a couple of months ago.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, well.
And I mean either. Nobody wants to see Puddin' in. Nobody wants to see Robbie's face. I'm just playing there. All right, so we're green flag here. I'm assuming Energy is going to be focused for just a little bit. He starts 8th in that green machine on the outside. That is a lot of drivers on this track right now. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, it's a hard one, right? So anybody that ever complains that when they get into a broadcast booth, they don't have much to talk about or say, I don't find us having that issue here tonight. I don't see that happening.
There's a crash, I think. Yeah, there's a car. Oh, there's a huge
There's
crash
lots
behind.
of cars. Everyone's
Huge
everywhere.
crash. And that started with, I think it was the one that got down into NRG and shot back across the track.
I was off the gas, kind of tucked back in behind them, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, so here's the deal, right? So you don't want to see that happen, right? Like if you're in that wreck, you don't want to see it happen. Now the positive about those wrecks happening early is for the most part that's actually going to allow pretty good racing the rest of this, right? So I talked about a big wreck happening, half the field's taken out. Now you're seeing, right? So there's still 8 to 10 up here in this front pack. There might still be a couple wrecks in these smaller packs. However, now you're going to start seeing people work together to catch back up to other individuals or. You know, this is where the racing really gets good. It stinks if you're in that wreck, but this is what we want to see here at GC Sports. Who's going to stick with it and still show up week after week and fight for these wins? I mean, look, all these guys still have a shot, and I mean, even the guys that wrecked, really, they still have a shot at a top 10 finish here.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you get in that wreck, you're gonna get behind, stay in it.
Yeah, and
don't back out because you're frustrated. Anything can happen. Those cars that made it through could easily get into 2 separate packs. They could all wreck. They could speed getting on pit road. They could mess up getting on pit road. It may gain you 1, 2, 3 positions, but that's points.
Yeah, I'm actually watching, right? So I'm watching this whole second pack. I don't like what they're doing right now. They don't recognize each other's names, so you can see that they're racing, right? I'm seeing the guys that do know each other are kind of working together a little bit, right? But everyone else was like the 32, R. Noggle, I was talking about him. He's been put to the outside. These guys didn't want to work with him. They don't know him. But they need to do exactly what they're doing right now, and that's just stay in line, draft together, and that will just make that first pack much larger while those guys are still racing out front right now.
Right. That's the biggest thing right here. You may not know the person, but this is the perfect track and the perfect opportunity to learn who that person is.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
you're not relying on yourself here. You have to make friends. And the biggest thing is with, I think you said Talladega later in the season at such a, critical point, with going to these not restrictor plates and super speedway tracks, those guys are going to remember at a super speedway, and they're going to say, hey, this person worked with me at Michigan. I'm going to, work with them at Talladega or Daytona or whatever.
Yeah, and this track's a lot like Auto Club, and Auto Club's your finale, right? So it's definitely something you want to learn right now. Now, in the YouTube, we have Sanity. Of course, he asked if that's Energy in the booth. Yes, it is. UK Wildcat said Energy is the GOAT. Paw Bear out there cheering for Robbie and Dirt Dog. Hamilton said he's picking bad for you to win, and Steve Bocock saying how, yeah, being involved in those wrecks stinks big time, but again, you just got to fight through it, and there's 32 cars, top 12 advance. Even if you're involved in one of these wrecks, if you back out angry, right, you're going to get 32nd in points. You stick in the race, you fight back. Even a 15th place finish is huge in making it into the B group next season.
Yeah, and the other thing too that, I hope a lot of these guys in this race tonight go back and watch. I always say, and I've said this to Taddy, I've said this to pretty much everybody, is you know, Taddy's been in this position, I've been in this position, you know, NRG's been in this position. And, you know, the biggest thing to remember is, yes, it's frustrating when you get in a wreck of somebody else's mess, but there's a lot of guys in A lobby right now who are there because of consistent runs. You know, they may not necessarily be the drivers that are competing for wins every race or every week or, you know, something like that, but they're consistent with staying with it and consistently getting top 10 finishes out of the luck that they try to produce. So the biggest thing for these guys to remember is stay with it, because the longer you stay with it, you can find yourself moving up to B group next season.
The 32 of Arnoggle, he was just got loose on the exit 4 and about spun. Not to cut you off, it just happened to be on the screen there. Just so you guys know at home, I'm not really watching any particular race right now as far as broadcast end. I'm just floating through every driver on track, giving them a couple seconds so you can see the names that are out there. There's a lot of them. Again, 32 cars. There's lots of people out there. So just kind of rolling through the whole field here, getting towards the end, and then we'll be getting back with the race. But yeah, to go with what you were saying, Justin, yeah, I mean, you don't need to win these races. There's 12 cars that advance. It's old school point system. It's not a win and you're locked in, right? So realistically, you need to average a top 12 finish. That says alone, you don't even technically have to be in the top 10 every single week to be able to make it. So fighting your way and wanting to be top 5, that's a great idea if you're able to do so and run up front each time. But when you have a bad race, it's really going to be key to just stick with it, fight hard to pick up any position you can. And you know, like I said, 15th to 18th, that's not even a bad finish when you have 32 drivers out there. You still beat 15 other drivers, which in most races, that's all there is for other drivers.
Looking bad for you, definitely got control of this race. Before even going on the broadcast, I told Taddy and NRG that's my pick to win. Bad for you?
Yeah, Memory out there said look for Bad and Robbie to dominate this race. 14 viewers out here for a C group night. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in to everybody.
But at the same time, I'm also curious to see what some of these new faces are going to do with these guys that they don't even know who they are, that we may talk about every week. You know, right now you see a lot of the guys who are returning drivers up at the front right now, but you also have a mix of drivers who just joined. You know, maybe this is their first time here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good racing. These top drivers up here, you know, the 14, bad for you, of course, he's one of the favorites to win, but 8 drivers still battling out, yeah.
We're having a blast. This is fun. This is what it should be like. Shit. Okay, we're pretty wide. I hate it here.
But at the same time, if the pack behind these guys see this, the first thing that should go in their head is, let's get single file. You may not be in the same party chat, but as a driver, when you see the leading pack like this and you're trying to catch up to them, get single file, because they can't run like this every lap.
Yep, things got intriguing there. Looked like the 24 car was involved.
12 murdered somebody. It definitely wasn't intentional, but he got loose off too. That's definitely the thing. And we're coming up on lap traffic.
And that's the other thing too, is being in C,
woo, trout.
You're gonna have traffic. Way sooner than you necessarily want.
I don't know if these guys are single in the pit. Whoever that is definitely single in the pit.
Yeah, so the biggest rule that most of these C guys that have never raced here before need to know is if you're going down pit road, you have to get at least 2 of the tires below the line.
Who the hell? Who's in the 6?
Taylor's in the 6.
Oh,
yeah.
He's our pole sitter.
Yeah.
Okay, he was either that, he got selfed up, couldn't get down pit road, and made a really smart decision there, or I don't know.
Well, I think that what you're going to see with a lot of this, right, is so if you have 2 drivers behind you, that you don't necessarily want either one of them right on your bumper. That Tiller may have been doing this. You see it at a lot of these draft tracks. He may have just gone down to the bottom to break the draft with the people catching him so quick.
He went below the line though. Like that, I mean, back you got so much room on the back stretch. I don't think you're gonna go below that white line unless.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I didn't see him end up below the line. I'd seen him as he was coming back up. I got clicked over, so that I didn't realize he was all the way down below the line.
But the other thing to remember too is with, you know, what Patty's saying on breaking the draft is, you know, some of those other drivers may take it as you're pitting.
Well, and you also, right, some of the things that you can do is try to bait other drivers to pit
Oh
with you.
my God, I'm loose.
So you may have seen, like, the 6 car may go down below the line, sees that nobody else in this lead pack is willing to go with him, so he changes his mind. It's okay to change it the opposite way, where you say you're going to pit and then don't pit, but it's not okay to not signal and then pull down and lock your brakes in front of everyone as the 88 makes contact with the race leader. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like we just had, I think, 3 or 4 cars peel off. Looks like we have the 16, the 19, the 22, the 6. And
We're only like, what, 15 laps into this?
yeah.
Not even. I am so loose, dude. I don't think I put my slider in.
Yeah, I don't know if the 73 or you, Energy, are signaling to pit, but yeah, you looked real low there.
I'm not signaling the pit. I just got that loose off too, where the car just turned down.
Yeah, this is, there's cars everywhere on the track.
Yeah, and the one thing that's going to be awesome to see is once everybody pits, I think you're going to see there's not going to be gaps. There's going to be a car everywhere.
Yeah, and really though, right, so that's so great. That's what I was saying about if you were involved in that early wreck, there's still so many opportunities to fight back.
And we have a wreck. We have a wreck. 37 is going around.
Commentator's curse.
I don't see the 37 going around. He got loose, looked like.
Yeah.
He's up to speed on my screen. Mushrat in the Velveeta Cheese 37. He, I mean, he's right there on the back of that 41 and plays official, so he might have gotten loose, but it looks like he recovered and he's still doing well.
Yeah, the biggest thing to remember with these guys is having so many people, I hope this many people race every week, is when you're coming off pit road, when you get to the backstretch, don't come up into like the middle of the track to try to get back there. Stay on the bottom until you get to turns 3 and 4 and then blend with the line.
Yeah, it's really good knowledge that you're saying stuff like that, Justin, right? So you were talking about the putting your 2 tires below the line, and as well as talking about how to merge, you know, properly. That's something that I really haven't had much time to let these C guys know. We only had 2 weeks off in the off season. Of course, we have our rules posted, but I was literally, people were getting signed into this series tonight, as NRG wasn't even signed up for this series until after the custom race. There's I didn't have a whole lot of time to talk to these guys, so some of them don't necessarily know the rules right now, so you might, as we get going, see something that you're like, man, that was a dumb move, but they might be allowed to do it elsewhere, so they just think that it's okay. Alright, it's going to take me a minute to get there. I got 32 cars to go through. Oh, 73 looking like he might take the lead here at Michigan International Speedway. Trout in the 11 in the grass.
No! Hey! I'm ready! Alright, got it out of my system.
Yeah, Trout went flying through the grass there trying to get to pit road. Tolson's in the 12, bad for you. Was your race leader, now he's on pit road, making your leader his mom's favorite driver, NRG.
We don't really need to talk about it. We can just skip. We can go to the next driver.
I can't get to him anyways. It takes too long to go from one driver to the next. Oh, there he is.
So the biggest thing for A-Trout right now is he's now going to be in a deficit with that spin getting on pit road. And now Bad is going to lose one of his drafting partners.
Oh, I got a black flag. Are you kidding me?
And
this game's junk. This butt cheeks.
And so that's going to most likely take the opportunity of that 73 winning this race and throw it out the window. Now we're just going to have to wait and see if the 73 still finishes a race. Cards fan on pit road in that 4 machine.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Kidding
I'm
me.
kind of going through the field right now. Everybody's doing a really good job, getting on and off pit road for the most part. Like I was saying earlier in the customs, um, Michigan and Auto Club well, Michigan more tends to be a really hard track getting on because instinct is you want to get off from the racing surface to the apron as fast as possible. But in this game, there's not really that smooth transition between the two like you saw with A-Trial where he tried to make the transition and the car just broke loose, went through the grass, and he spun out.
Yeah, to go with what you're saying there, one of the keys, and we talked about with customs that I mentioned brake bias is so huge, right? It's something that you can adjust when you build your setup. Here in the sliders, you can't do so, so you're at the mercy of whatever your wheel/controller settings are on your brakes, right? But one of the keys to any track, really, when you're trying to get on and off pit road, is you want the car to be going as straight as possible when you do get on the brakes. So we're seeing these guys in the middle of the corner are trying to hit their brakes real hard and crank it down to the left to get it to the apron. You really just want to slow down, kind of get off the throttle at the apex and don't get back on it, and then that way you're kind of coasting more around the corner. Your car's going straight, you can lock the brakes, get down to pit road. If you try to go too hard, you might have an issue like the 73 did. Just saying. NRG, you're welcome.
I hate it.
Where did you end up after that, Energy?
I went from first to 21st.
Are you going to pull the strats from the last race that we talked about?
No, I'm just gonna run it out like I did. And I'll pass them these rounds as I go.
Sorry, not are you, but can you see any cars on pit road that have lagged out of the race, or is all 32 cars still on track?
No,
I
everyone's
think
still
all
on track.
32 are still there.
No, nobody's quit or left yet.
Interesting. I can't say that I expected that to be the answer.
No, I didn't. And whoever this is here in, who's blocking the corner from that. Calm down.
That is Dank Booty Flakes, your best friend in the 21 machine.
That is the 21. That is Dank.
He must have got a pit red down. So, alright, he's off on goal.
I can't even find you.
He's the green car. If you get to the leader, he started 8th. You can click the button 7 times. You'll find him.
There you are.
Hello?
Blakey T in this 48, he's a little upset in the chat, but where I'm seeing him on track, I don't know why, unless he's a lap down. He's having a pretty good run right now in that 48 machine, sitting right there behind the 22 of Subblaney, maybe in the 22, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, he did get involved. I'm kind of surprised because he was involved. I don't know how much he was involved in that first wreck. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely made a rebound from where he was.
So, one thing that I'm seeing right now, and to me, this is awesome to see it, right? So this is the C group, so you're entry level. You have some that are champions from other leagues. You have some that run more public lobby style racing. But there's different skill levels on the track. But you put 32 drivers out there, all at different skill levels. Of course, there's going to be big wrecks, right? Because that's a lot of cars. But all in all, where can you go to find 32 cars on a track that are all league racing style? Like, these guys are trying to be clean, fast drivers all at the same time. This is awesome to watch.
The Ford got around, the 66 bounced off turn 2 and came down.
The 66 is Dirt Dog, the 4 is Cards Fan. So unfortunate events there for that 4 machine of Cards Fan. 14 live viewers, thanks for tuning in. Alright, responding to, got some people writing me still currently trying to get in and be part of this fun action. So we still have slots for, 32 started, so we have 6 more open spots. And then this series would be maxed out.
Can we restart?
No. This wasn't an easy lobby to make. This one took a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but Unless Bad for You gets a speeding penalty, Robbie and Tiller and whoever's behind him in the 12, you guys gotta, those three have got to get linked up and work better together.
That's Tollison in the
Because
12, and I think
right
that's
now,
Manmouth in the 25 behind him.
right now, Bad for You is just run away.
Yeah, it's really, it all started in that first section before the pit stops. Everybody kept racing, and that allowed the 14 to just be able to kind of slowly but methodically pull away and get these guys out of the draft. And then we're seeing here the 18 going a lap down. They were 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, right? So the 12 now going underneath the 6. Yeah, it's a great run. You have momentum. You have the draft on your side. But every pass that you do, if you're in this pack with Robbie, I believe that's Tollison in the 12 maybe, 6 of Tiller, 25 of Manmouth. Every time you guys get side by side, all you're doing is letting that 14 car go further and further ahead of the rest of the field. And you know, like I said earlier, you don't need to win these races, but the logics here, racing intelligence is you got to catch the leader if you even want to win. I personally would probably be working with someone.
Well, the other thing too is with these guys racing, not only is it letting the 14 pull away from them, but it's allowing the 48, the 22, and the 3-pack group behind those two catch up to these guys, which is what Bad for You essentially wants to see, is because once it goes from a 5-car pack to a 10-car pack, they're not all going to be working together. Blakey T's, hopefully gets the draft of the, the 25 and takes a run, because after what he's gone through, he needs to get the best finishing points he needs.
Yeah, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if Blakey T is on the lead lap. I don't know if that's a position. He was saying that, he wasn't very happy in the chat, so I'm assuming he was involved in a wreck and wasn't happy. But I don't know. Maybe he just got door banged by a bunch of people and wasn't happy. But all in all, either way, it's good recovery. If he can catch up to this pack of 4 or 5 cars and he is a lap down, he can use them to get back up to the leader to try to get that lap back. Of course, he's got help with the 22 of Blaney, and as long as that big group up front, this 5-car pack here, as long as they keep racing 4-car pack, it will allow the those other 2 cars to get caught back up.
Right, because then you have the 11, you have the 20, you have the 16, and the 18's obviously a lap down, so he's just trying to, drive around here.
Yeah,
but these 3 are catching up to the 2 that are in front of him, which is only going to help the 2 that are in front of him eventually too.
Yeah, and I talked about it earlier in the custom race. I really wanted to see somebody do the run a few laps and then go right back down pit road while your tires are good, especially if you were thinking of like a 2-tire stop, right? So whenever you take 2 tires, your car automatically gets really loose because your left sides are old, your right sides are fresh, your car's going to be loose, right? Well, if you only run 5 or 6 laps and then take your 2 tires, you don't deal with that loose experience nearly as bad because your tires are pretty even in comparison. And
it looks like,
yeah, the 6 signaling looks like. But so with how big of a lead the 14 car has, the only way you're going to be able to make up this time is either draft together, A, or B, you got to short pit and get out there with the fresh tires, with draft, longer than what the 14 is able to utilize the fresh tires, and make up time on track.
the 22 did a good entry there.
I accidentally just by accident.
So the 73 taking out the 00.
Yep.
Quinn!
Yep. And you said Quinn was your buddy.
Well, best friend.
You might have got him in the wall, but Brian's still with you guys.
Huge wreck. The 11 was flipping. The 20 is flipping. There was a huge wreck on the backstretch.
The 20 is wasted, so 2 Joe Gibbs cars wrecking. Wasted again, like I said, nobody here is really going to know him too well. People in the league know him that race in other leagues with him and stuff like that, but as far as your regular GC guys, they're not going to know Wasted that well, but Wasted is the top competitor racing around Trout. That's a good accomplishment. Unfortunately, like we've talked about all night long, when you're racing people you don't know each other's tendencies, you don't know how clean they are, you get around them, and that actually is what's causing a lot of this racing. And what I mean by that is, like, instead of drafting, you're actually racing side by side. You want to be the leader of the pack and have them work with you because you don't know how good of a lead car they are. And no cautions, 50 laps. It's a pretty short race. You can't really have too much patience to say, okay, well, I'll ride around you for 10, 15 laps and see if you're good enough. You got to go if you don't know these people, and that causes a lot of problems.
Definitely a lot of guys not signaling the pit. I noticed that.
Yeah, and that's one of, if not the biggest issue actually that I've been seeing, is these people not signaling.
Yeah, that's definitely an important key to, especially a track like this. You know, you have to. I like getting all 4 tires under the line, so they know that I'm going. You know, sometimes I'm only getting those 2 tires. A guy may just think you got loose off the corner and you're trying to save the car. You know, and then you're on the bottom line trying to slow down to make that entry to pit road, and then you get hit from behind, which causes you to spin out, or speed coming on pit road. So.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now because the race leader's already gone to pit road. So Tiller and the 25, they apparently heard me when I said you're going to have to short pit the race leader to get that track advantage. The problem is the 14 didn't stay out much longer, so you might have made up a second. Maybe when this cycles through, they'll catch him. We'll have to find out here. The 12 going to pit road. Now, the 6 and 25 had already caught back up to the bumper of the 48 and the 12, so they'd already made up good time. They should pass him. They're up to speed now. Bad for you coming off pit road. These two will take what will eventually become the race leader after everyone, after the whole pit cycle. So that's what I was talking about right there, and it worked out really well for these two guys. The pit early strategy. Now they're going to have about a 2-second advantage.
And now, you know, you're bad for you. You've lost 2, 4, 5, maybe even 6 positions. You know, if these 4 cars hook up, are you going to be able to get the draft to get back to the front?
Yeah, I think the best thing that Bad For You has going for him right now is that 48 car in front of him. He's got to hope the 48 does not catch the draft of that front 4 pack, because if so, the 48 will be able to slowly pull away. But if Bad For You can get to the bumper or be able to get to the draft of that 48 prior to that happening, then he'll be in pretty good shape. He's going to have the freshest tires, be able to make moves. But again, this track being so heavy with the draft, this will become an issue now. He's not going to have that. People aren't playing catch up to him anymore. If he does get the lead, they're going to be in his draft and be able to stay there.
But Blakey just made maybe the move of the race, because he just passed 4 guys and now is fighting for the lead, which allowed Bad For You to catch to the back of the pack because it punched such a big hole. But these guys aren't going to work with him. They're going to try to freight train him on the outside.
Energy, whenever you get a chance, whenever the cycle's back through, can you let
we
me
just
know?
Went to 10 to go.
Do you know who the race leader is?
Yeah, the 41.
Okay, plays official. I'm assuming he hasn't pit yet.
Me and him haven't pit. I'm in second.
Okay, so, that's what I was thinking. So behind you, is it Blake ET or is it Tiller in third?
Brian SP is in third. Card Sands fourth. Blake ET fifth.
So Blake ET is going to assume the lead when the top 4 pit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at out of this group, if Blake ET was actually on the lead lap. And not only is he on the lead lap, he is in the position that will become the race lead after the other 4 drivers all come to pit road.
Mom! I'm leading!
And Dente, with the veteran that he is, he knows what's going on right now. He's going to give Blake ET the room. He's going to try to draft because the other group's not that far up to him yet, but he's going to just give way right here. He knows that they're battling, but at the same time, this pack behind Blake ET is losing a lot of time.
Well, and so that's what I was talking about there when Bad For You was getting these guys, right? I was saying that they'll be able to stay in this draft as long as they don't get racing too hard. Blake ET pit with Bad For You. Those guys both had the fresh tires. Blake ET comes, well, 1 lap sooner than Bad For You, so that's why he didn't lose as much ground in that lead pack. But he has fresher tires than all those guys, so he should, by right, be able to pull away. Now, Bad For You has to be able to get to clear these guys so that he can now leave them and start tracking down the 48. But there's a big difference of when you're by yourself able to pull away and when you're having to still pass these guys. You said it yourself, Justin, when the 48 made that move and passed all 4 of those cars, that was a huge move of the race. Bad For You's probably not going to dive it in and try to pass all 4 at once. He's actually on the outside trying to pass them, and I just don't think it's going to work.
Well, and the other thing that's going to help Blake ET too is not only are these guys racing each other, but Blakey T just put a car a lap down. He's coming up to 2 more cars to put a lap down. These lap cars, yes, they're going to give way on the outside, but that could mess up the entry that you're looking to get into the turn. So, you could not throttle up the way that you want to throttle up, and now I see, running on board with the 16, the 10's lagging a little bit.
Well, and something that, with this lap traffic, right, every time they catch lap traffic, the leader can actually, I don't know what just happened to 16 Guardian, but the leader can actually use that lap traffic for draft and pull them up that half second that much quicker than if he was by himself. So, yeah, these guys will give way for the most part, but we see right there the 10 car just hits the wall right in front of the 14 who was running the outside. They're running 2x2. The 10 didn't have anywhere to go to get out of the way, but him hitting the wall cost the 14 2 positions.
The 19 just
spun out. I see the 19 destroyed.
I'm still wrecking.
But I'm definitely going to stay on board with this second pack.
I'm right on board with the wrecked 73 car.
I don't necessarily think that Tiller, if they're going to try to catch Blakey T, I don't necessarily think Tiller has the car to be catching these guys. I think they should let Bad For You in the front because he's got the freshest tires.
Well, that's a catch-22. I'm going to be honest. There's less than 10 laps to go. That 48 car is not getting caught by this pack no matter what they do. So,
yeah. Then you have the 24 that just is passing on the high side of all these guys. I'm not sure if that's for positions
Robbie.
Or not.
Yeah, that's Robbie. He's up there with all of these Robbie guys in this pack. Everyone in this pack is on the lead lap. This is the battle for second. And I'm going to be honest. If I'm one of these guys, I'm doing exactly what they're doing right now, and I'm racing as hard as I can. And what you were saying about Tiller maybe not being in the car to be able to go catch Blakey, he's not. Bad For You's the only one that could. However, you don't want to let Bad For You by because with 5 laps to go, you're trying to finish second. Bad For You, now that he's ahead of these guys, should be able to start pulling away just like the 48 did. But, so I don't blame them for holding the 14 back on this one.
But the other thing not to sleep on either is, remember, the 14 pitted and the 24 stayed out 2 laps more than the 14. So out of all these guys now, the 24 has the best tires.
Yeah, and it's the same predicament, right? So Robbie might be able to be faster than the 14, right? But if you're the 6, the 22, the 16, you're not going to make it easy for the 24 to get up through there. I mean, it took the 14. The only reason we're not seeing the 14 racing with Blakey right now is because of trying to pass this pack. It took him considerably longer than it took the rest of them. And you see now the game's happening, the blocking down to the bottom and this and that, and it's actually allowing the 24 to go faster on the outside. And what a move as he crosses over the 6 and the 14. And now Robbie racing to P2 in that number 24 Chevrolet.
Yeah, so that right there definitely, I don't want to say solidified the 14, but the 14 lost a lot of positions because him and the 6 were not necessarily thinking, they're more racing as if they're the only 2 that are on the track, blocking each other for second place.
I don't even think, right, so I think what just happened there was just anger. You're getting late in the race, the 14 probably getting mad that it took him so long to get to the front, made some bold moves. The 6 then tries to pass him back. The 14 went down to block. 14 probably clipped the nose of the 6 or something, right? And the 6 drove him in a little deep in the next corner. The problem is it hurt both of them, and there Robbie is. Took advantage, and I don't think these guys are going to be able to catch Robbie now for P2.
How many laps do we have on RG?
Should be 3 to go.
Yeah, so you're gonna see the driver in the 14 right here is going to turn up the aggression meter a little bit.
2 to go. Okay, yeah.
To be put on.
The 14 just bumped the 16 a little bit, right? But at the same time, all this is doing him racing so hard, he's just wearing out his tires. The battle is now for P3. You have the 48 of Blakey T should be your race winner. 24 Robbie should get P2. But now that those guys have cleared him, who's going to get P3? The 14 car should have the... Oh, he spins. He stays on the apron and Bad For... No, he's not out. He's out of the conversation because he caught the apron and spun himself out. Unfortunate for Bad For You racing there.
And that is a...
Oh, the 20 of wasted wrecks involves the 37 of Mushrat. Now, that's not dirty racing. That just happened to be the 14 got going. And when he did get going, it was in front of those other guys. And so they all tried avoiding it and made contact and wrecked. The 1 also involved. Got to get back here and watch this group. This should be the final lap.
He left the race at some point.
Yeah, he just posted that he logged out, actually. So that should be the finale. And the 48 of Blakey T should be our race winner.
Yeah.
Followed by Robbie Racing and Tiller coming home third. Unlike the slider side, we have a little more time now, so...
Oh, somebody, oh my god, there's people dying in 3 and 4, and I'm one of them.
The 20, the 73, here comes more cars to be involved. Yep, the 77, 37, they're all involved now.
And the 20 just got spun off the bumper of somebody.
That was cool. Oh, that was, it was fun. The beginning of that race was fun. I hate that I got a pit road penalty, but it is what it is. But yeah, top 10, Blake T, Robbie, Blaney. Okay, well, I guess it's going to show me that I got 20 seconds. I did good. Cards fan. No, never mind, he finished.
I'm hoping somebody that's streaming gets everyone. Wait, who got third then?
Blaney.
Oh, okay, yeah, he was in the 22, you're right. Yep.
Mammoth Legend got 6, Tolson got 7, Trout got 8, Travesty Sun 9th, and Dank got.
I'm hoping somebody took pictures of these results.
I can save my video clip.
Alright, as long as you scroll through it all, that'll work good.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
so
no, I didn't do that. We're already
all in
going
all,
lobby. I got the top 10.
That many people in a race, that was actually a lot smoother and better than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I was for that many drivers on
And
track.
who got
I was
the
pretty.
fastest lap?
Blakey T.
Blakey T with the fastest lap.
Good job.
But all in all, you know, with that many drivers, yes, there's going to be frustration, but at the same time, don't be frustrated. It's going to happen with that many people.
That was not a bad race for how many people were there.
Alright, so with that said, we have our top 3 finishing drivers here in the chat party with us now. I'm going to start with third place finisher, driver of the number 22 Ford Mustang. That would be Blaney. Blaney, do you have your voice set to always loud?
Yeah, I do, man.
Okay, so, man, first off, you just raced in a race with 32 cars. What was your mentality right out the gate, knowing that there were so many drivers? Luckily, you starting up front had to have helped.
Yeah, honestly, it was the avoiding anything that looks suspicious on the track that was going to happen. Relying on fueled-up teammates. Shout out to them. They're a good group of people. Always get things done, and we probably wouldn't be in this position the last 2 weeks if it wasn't for the teamwork that we put together there. I got wrecked out really early on the first, probably like first 5 laps. I got shoved in the infield. So that set me back a long time. So it was really just trying to follow the leader, be on my cues, my pit stops, and that's what got me there.
Yeah, so there at the end, things got a little exciting, I'd say. Here in the booth, it was definitely there's stuff to talk about. You had so many cars on different strategies. Looks like you and your guys, your team guys, right? You guys had the older tires by doing the pitting to get the advantage and catch the 14, right? And it worked great. The problem is then those guys come in with the fresh tires. Were you guys trying to block and hold them up, or were you trying to just use those guys to keep the fast pace with the draft?
Yeah, honestly, there was a little bit of like, try and stay ahead as much as you can, but 4 cars in a row, I feel like that'll make up the mile per hour that we lost on tires. But no, there was no blocking or anything going on. I mean, it's high draft, you can lose a position in one corner. So it was honestly, if they got around us, don't hold them back, just try and stay in that draft and try and have them push us closer to the next pack ahead. So
Now, the one question that I have for you, because you were obviously in that group of people that pitted to necessarily overtake the 14.
Yep.
Now, when you guys saw Blakey T make that dive bomb move in turns 3 and 4 to pass you all, is there kind of a little bit of regret that at least one of you didn't necessarily think that he was going to make that move and make it work to try to block him?
Well, blocking's a sore subject when it comes to the field up guys, so we're trying to pick our battles there. So I knew I was racing around Blakey T, and he pit later than me every run, so I knew he had the speed on us. it was honestly just how long can we pass him, how long can we keep past him, how long can we hold him off, and once he gets by, the 4 cars, we thought that teamwork, 4v1, we maybe could have made something work with, picking a line that he didn't have and kind of pushing each other past us. But honestly, we knew Blakey was faster. He had the speed. It was just kind of stay close to him as much as you can. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of time once we had another cars catch up to us and Blakey kind of walked. But
Yeah, man, I thought you did an outstanding job up there. The front pack was definitely fun to watch. Of course, with that many drivers on track and no cautions, of course you're going to have accidents, and there was plenty of them. But being able to keep the nose of that number 22 Ford Mustang, a great job tonight, and congratulations. It's not just you, but your whole team. As you're saying, the fueled up guys, you guys definitely proved to be a force to be reckoned with here in the C group, especially. So good luck the rest of the season, and that's a great way to start the season off.
yeah, it definitely feels good to have everyone click in and us working the way we need to go. But I appreciate you guys having me in here, and I'm glad that I put on a show for you guys, whatever kind of show it was. But I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
Absolutely. All right, that was your third place finisher, Blaney, in the 22 car. Great job by him and his team works. As just so you guys know, when he's talking about the fueled up guys, that would be the 6 at Tiller, most of your Penske drivers, I believe, and then you had Manmouth was up there and Guardian. That's the group that was all working together. They did an outstanding job. Gonna move on now to our second place finisher, Robbie. You got your voice set to always allow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this time frame's got to work a little bit better for you, where it doesn't turn into 3 o'clock in the morning racing, right? You go a little bit earlier. You did an outstanding job there in that number 24 Chevy. A couple times it looked like contact put you into the wall, but you were able to hold on to the draft. Pit strategy kept you there with fresh tires at the end. Just go through how you were able to come out on with P2 with 32 drivers, and you beat 31 of them. 30 of them, sorry.
A lot of them, a lot of it was just being patient, really. At the beginning of the run, normally I don't race sliders, normally I race customs, so I had no idea how tight the car was going to be. Beginning of the run, it was quite tight. I think I drove into a couple of drivers by accident. But a lot of it was just down to patience. Have a look, see who's quick, and sit behind those guys that are faster than you. And just ride in line really, and then start racing at the end. Patience is definitely key when you've got a big field.
Damn, you sound cute tonight.
I like it.
So one thing we were talking about out there, it's not often you get to see 32 cars in a league race, right? That's a really large field, especially, I was mentioning it to Blaney, but no cautions. You had to know there was going to be wrecks. Of course, you did a very good job avoiding them. But the feel of knowing that you're in that big of a field where, for the most part, again, accidents happen, but it seemed the drivers were all racing pretty clean. I didn't see any intentional stuff. It all seemed to be incidental racing stuff. But as a driver's perspective, how did you feel out there on the track about the competition level here in the C group with 32 guys on track?
Well, I hope the field stays like it all season long. I mean, there's some great drivers in this series, and having a big field with nothing but great drivers is awesome. I mean, I haven't stopped fidgeting since I got in my seat. I was like, wow, what was it, like 33 cars?
32 started the race.
32, I mean, that's a lot of cars. Thankfully, cautions are off. There was a few guys that are not as good as others, and they caught the apron and wrecked a few guys, but definitely an amazing feel being in a big field like that.
Yeah, to go with what you just said, and this isn't necessarily correcting what you said, but so the viewers at home understand, he did say, some drivers that aren't as good as others, right? We here at GC, we try to welcome everyone of all driving talents here, right? But he also said people with less talent that were hitting the apron, but at the same time, we seen the guy that dominated most of the race, Bad For You Racing, closing laps, he actually caught the apron and dumped it himself too, so that's a mistake that a lot of drivers make. But anyways, overall, Robbie, great race tonight. I'm sure, you have a lot of fans out there. I'm sure they're all happy to see you come home P2, especially in a series that you don't tend to race, like you said, in the sliders. So overall, great job tonight.
Cheers, buddy. Congratulations to Blakey on his win. I don't know where he come from. Like, I was not expecting him to be at the front. I didn't see him all race long. Next thing I know, 48's in front, miles ahead. I was like, all right, okay. Second it is him.
All right, you guys got anything, Energy or Justin? You got anything for Robbie?
No,
No.
good being back on the track with you, man. I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, you've definitely been through some stuff the last few months, so it's good to see you back out there and back on your feet and whatnot.
I appreciate it, bud. I did say a little hello to you on the track, a little knock on your door. It's good to see you racing in this league again as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that was our second place finisher. The man from across the pond, Robbie Racing, comes home P2 in that number 24, Jeff Gordon Chevy. Gonna move on now to our race winner, Blakey T. You got your voice set to always loud?
Let me check.
You've only been in the party now for about 10 minutes and still couldn't get you to check.
I'm
You're always loud.
sorry. Okay.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
you sound cute tonight as well.
Fast on the track, slow in the chat. That's Blakey T, race winner here.
No.
The 48 Ally Chevy. Man, great job. I know you had a really bad beginning of the race. Were you involved in one of the wrecks? I know that you had said that, what you had said in the chat. We're not gonna, whatever. But what caused you to have what happened at the beginning that I didn't catch it?
We were just taking it easy. Just getting a feel for it. And I seen them kind of bobble a little bit ahead. I was like, okay. And then I knew it was going to be a wreck, so I let off. Didn't matter. I got completely just pelted into the infield. Well, good news, it didn't spin, so I was able to kind of keep going. And yeah, I was just mad from there on out. I didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to get it over with. So
they say in racing sometimes the fastest car on track is the one that's being driven mad. So great job out there. But so again, I mean, it's kind of been the thing of the night, right? This is the first time we've ever had this type of car count out there, right? 32 drivers. You had to know in advance, like I keep saying, that things are going to happen. Like you said, you lifted, got car ramrodded from behind. That's almost to be expected, right? But what was your mentality? Qualifying has to be playing a big part in these type of races. I would assume that you were thinking so before qualifying.
well, in a way, I was trying to go for a good time, but I just didn't make the best effort in qualifying, so, it's just kind of the hand I was dealt, and I just kind of went from there, honestly, but now I know. Yeah, might as well just try to be up front, because I definitely don't want to have that happen again, like tonight. Well, I want to win, but I don't want to have to fight my way back from like 20-something just to come back and win. So.
All I know is I just heard you say you don't want the same outcome next week, so Blakey T not looking for a first place victory the rest of the season. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Yeah, so I'm a little intrigued here because next week you guys are going to go to Atlanta. Michigan is a draft dependent track, races a lot like a super speedway, but where you have to kind of arch the corners in order to have a good run and not plow someone through, right? Next week you guys are getting ready to go to Atlanta, and if you still have 32 cars, and I say that, I still have other people writing me now trying to get in, so if not more than 32 cars, what is the mentality? What is the mentality going to a track like Atlanta where you know for a fact that people will be trying to race the Daytona line all the way down to that yellow line?
Well, my strategy tonight was to just, Kevin LePage it, but I got wrecked first, so it didn't work out. No. But yeah, Atlanta, it's just going to be the same thing as Michigan. It's going to be even worse. I think the track afterwards, I don't even know the schedule. I looked at it before I started, but...
Watkins Glen is after.
Yeah, Watkins Glen might be a little bit of a different story, and then we're looking forward to Iowa, so, if we can have a strong run at Atlanta, we should, of course. Watkins Glen, pretty good there. Had a couple wins there. Iowa, we're looking pretty solid. So to start my season off with a win, that's all I asked. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, you can't be disappointed starting with a win. Like I said, the B group is where everyone in this series is wanting to be. By the way, you've now won this race, which welcomes you to being able to race tomorrow night. Let's see where the B group is. But are you going to be free, first off?
When is this race?
It would be tomorrow night at 8:05.
Tomorrow night at 8:05, I should be able to be. Yeah, I should be able
And
to.
Can I be invited?
they're at Kentucky. No, yeah, Energy. You could have been. All you had to do is win tonight. Right. So yeah. Blakey T tomorrow night. The B
Damn.
Slider group is going to Kentucky. You're more than welcome to be a part of there. We'll get you squared away with a number. Just get a hold of me. But anyways, Justin or Energy, do you guys have something to say to or ask Blakey T here?
Yeah, give me a question. Come on. Damn it. Come on.
I,
Give me a question.
damn it, I'll give you a question. What do you drink in the morning to sound so cute throughout the entire day?
You know, it just depends. You know, some days I like to start myself off with a good cold classic Coke. Some other
Coke?
days, yeah, Coke.
I have no more questions. Shut it down. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
No,
Real
come back
quick,
here.
real quick. I said something on stream there that was false news. Monday's race is actually at 7:35 is when they go green, so your qualifying will
I'll
be
be
about
there.
7:20.
Yeah, I should be done by then, so I should be able to make it. So.
Justin, you got anything?
No, I picked him to win.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. You picked bad.
You legit said bad for you racing is who I'm going to go with.
I
I'll
must
take
have
it.
got mixed up.
That's okay. Yeah, he meant Blakey T. Yeah.
Listen,
So,
since I didn't declare at the beginning of the race who I was picking to win, I clearly picked Blakey T to win this race the whole entire
That's
time.
what I'm talking about.
Listen,
That's what I'm talking about. You might want to.
you can't ever be wrong if you wait until the race is over to pick your winner. Okay, so that's logical on my end. Yeah, no, Blakey T. Again, congratulations, you did a great job. Great comeback
Mom, they're being mean.
Mom!
there. Oh, by the way, Energy, you're gonna have to check that out. Somebody actually commented on the mom thing and just wrote.
Oh,
mom.
did they?
Yeah. But all right, so that's gonna do it here for GC Sports. That was your C night. We had both customs. That was a thriller. Great race there. We went into the slider side. Blakey T in the closing laps was able to walk away from basically second through ninth place there after a couple big wrecks took out most of the field. But exciting night here for GC Sports and. Great job by Blakey T, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the B Slider group at 7:35 Eastern Time. So tune in. They're racing at Kentucky, and we'll see you then.